What's up, everyone? This is Anthwon Thomas with another podcast episode of High Value Agent, where we inspire people to create a better life through real estate. And man, I am excited to break down today because it's relevant. We are currently experiencing in the market, and this is nationwide, a shift. Okay. There has been changes in the market, and it's requiring people to pivot. Okay. So to pivot in your business is to look at the data, look at your actions, your activity over the past several months, and then make adjustments to make sure you can still build your business. And when the market shifts, it requires us to take a closer look at our business, get well informed as to what we've done up to this point, and to get very clear on what we need to do to continue growth in the future. Sometimes it just means you got to double down on what you've been doing. Some of us, it means we got to completely incorporate new skills, build new skills, and implement new processes or systems, right? Whatever it may be. But we are currently in a time where you must pivot. You must take a closer look at your business. So I'm going to break down today, because it's extremely relevant, what we need to do over the next 90 days. Because in real estate and sales, you are in a 90-day world, okay? A 90-day world. There are multiple phases when it comes to breaking through in your business. Okay, 6 of them to be exact. And I learned this from my mentor and friend, Greg Harrelson. 6 phases of a breakthrough, AKA real estate mastery. Phase number 1 is formulation phase, generating a plan. Okay, that's phase 1, formulation, formulate a plan. Phase number 2 is what we call concentration. That's the 90-day world of you taking massive, inspired action, okay, for 90 days, understanding it is a process that you must follow. You're not going to get results immediately. Typically, it's going to take a while. I'm going to break that down because that's the main focus of today's podcast. The third phase is the momentum phase, okay? The next phase, phase 4, is breakthrough. Phase 5 is stabilization. And the last phase is mastery. Okay. What we're going to focus on is the 90-day world, AKA the concentration phase, because most agents never break through or get out of this phase. They never exceed this phase because they're constantly reformulating the plan. When they do that, you restart the concentration phase over again. So they continue this cycle of they try something for a week, they don't get the result, they go back and change the plan. Okay. And they don't realize that they're killing any momentum that they have built up to that point. Remember this, the plan is not the issue. The plan is not the issue. Rather, it's their lack of action that is the issue. Okay. It's their limited belief, their limited mindset that is the issue. So when you're in the concentration phase, or you're in this 90-day world, right? Understanding the work that you do today, you don't get the results until 90 days out. You got to understand what activities you should be doing that will yield you the highest ROI or ROT. ROI, return on investment. ROT means return on time. Your investment is your time and your energy, right? So I'm going to break down for you during this 90-day phase, this 90-day world, what are your activities that you need to be focusing on, what you should expect throughout this 90-day process, ways to mitigate you losing momentum and having to restart all the way over, and the heinous mindset, the heinous environment, the things that if you allow in your world during this 90-day process could completely throw you off. Matter of fact, it can actually force you into finding another career. Okay. So we're going to break this down. Very, very important. So let's get into the activities. What are the activities that you need to be focusing on when you're in the 90-day world? When you're in the 90-day concentration phase? Well, number one is wealth generation activities. Wealth generation activities. These activities must be in your schedule. I'm going to break down what they are, but these activities must be in your schedule and completed by noon. Okay, completed by noon. So, what are the activities? I want you to grab a pen and paper and write this down. Okay, I know this is a podcast, but again, this podcast is to help inspire growth, right? And you got to make sure you're taking notes. 4 acronyms: PLAN. PLAN spells plan. Okay, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The P stands for prospecting. Prospecting. You should be prospecting for new business a minimum of 1 hour per day. 1 hour per day, 6 days a week, period. 1 hour. So prospecting for new business, that could come in form of calling for sell by owners, calling expire listings, calling new internet leads or Google PPC leads or Zillow leads, Realtor.com. It doesn't matter. But you are talking to new people, okay, and generating new opportunities for yourself. That's the P. The L stands for lead follow up, okay, or lead nurture. So when you are, and by the way, so 1 hour of prospecting, at least 1 hour of lead follow up, depending on how big your database is, right? You may have a lot of leads you got to follow up with. If it takes you longer than 2 hours to follow up with all your leads, you got too many people that you're following up with. You need to have an automated system or an automated nurture campaign that will allow you to focus on the 90-day business, and everything outside of that, they're put into a system that allows you to nurture them, but they don't really get your attention on a daily basis. So if it's going to take you more than 2 hours to lead follow up, you got probably too many leads. You're hoarding leads. Get rid of some of them. Okay. It should not take you really longer than 1 hour of follow up per day, 6 days a week. So prospect for 1 hour, lead follow up for 1 hour minimum, right? The A stands for appointments. Appointments that could come in the form of a buyer appointment, meeting with a buyer, presenting to them. It could come in the form of a listing appointment, presenting to a seller. It could come in the form of a showing. Okay. These are the presentations or the opportunities for you to get a signature or capture the business and or write an offer, right? Some of us, we're working different type of lead sources, and that initial meeting is at a showing. Same thing. You need to make sure you're getting in front of people. Okay. That's A, appointments. N stands for negotiations. Negotiations, negotiating contracts, negotiating deals. Okay. Those are your activities, wealth generation centric activities, prospecting, lead follow up, appointments, and negotiations. Okay. Listen, the reason why I'm making a podcast about the 90-day world is because it is important. By the way, it's also the biggest challenge that agents have, period. They're not willing to do those 4 things consistently. The reason why people get out of the business is due to the lack of leads, due to the lack of conversion of the leads, due to the lack of clients. Well, how do you generate clients? Well, you do that through having conversations with people who said they were interested in buying or selling real estate, period. So in these 4 activities, you're talking to new people You're following up with people that you've already spoken to. You're meeting with those people, getting commitments from them, right? Through contracts, through buyer agency agreements, through listing contracts, and you're negotiating deals. There's nothing else to do. Those four core activities. Okay. Something that I say, it's not about how intelligent you are. It's about how often you use your intelligence. It's not about how intelligent you are. It's about how often you use your intelligence. Through the content that I've just shared with you, you've now increased your IQ. You now have heard what works and what doesn't work, right? But if you leave this podcast and you don't take action, then you didn't learn anything because your behaviors have not changed. Okay. Same condition, same behavior. You've not learned anything. Same condition, new behavior, you've learned. So, are you going to use your intelligence often? I just want you to think about that. If you've had thoughts as I'm going through these core activities of, you know what, man, there has to be another way. There is not another way. Okay. We are in a market that requires you to do the uncomfortable work. Period. Period. Those are your core activities. Now, as you're executing on the core activities, like what is the special sauce, right? Like, okay, I'm doing the work. What can I expect? How can I keep up with this? Right? Well, number one, in order for you to really see any traction, like gain traction, you got to do it consistently. I recommend 6 days a week. In today's market, it's required that you work 6 days a week doing the core activities, the four core activities. And you got to do that consistently. Don't do it Monday, take Tuesday off. By the way, when I say take Tuesday off, that Tuesday you may have had, I don't know, 4 closings. You may have had, a couple inspection negotiations that you had to get through and had to negotiate an appraisal, right? Cool. But you still didn't work today because a day not prospected, a day not doing lead follow up, a day not meeting with new clients and getting them signed, a day not negotiating those deals. When I say deals, like negotiating the contract, the relationship between you and client. Yeah, negotiating inspections is important, absolutely. But a day not prospected, a day not following up with leads is a day not worked. Okay. Thomas Edison says the successful person makes a habit of doing what the failing person doesn't like to do. So make sure that you're being consistent doing this work. Okay. And one way to really help you be consistent through this spiritual journey is to make sure you are in a high level environment. By the way, if you have a high level environment, if you are a part of a team that is elite, if you are a part of a brokerage that is elite, you get to be around high level thinkers and earners and achievers. That is an extraordinary gift. I'm going to share a story with you. I remember when I started my career, it was back in 2015. I started in a low level environment, respectfully, to the brokerage I was a part of at that time. I actually joined a team when I first started, and just being honest, the environment was very low level. Okay, there was gossip. There was none of the core activities that I'm talking about on this podcast. None of those were being done. Okay, and it really did not inspire you to grow. You weren't being held accountable to growth or to doing the next right thing right. It was just you show up. Matter of fact, I was the only person really showing up in office every day. That was a low level environment. I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So thankfully, there was a thing called YouTube that I was able to learn from others that were not around me, right? And I learned what I needed to do to grow a business. Guess what I learned? Prospect, lead follow up, prospect, lead follow up, be able to present at a high level, have a conviction in my words, right? Building the confidence, working on my skills, taking action, right? Showing up, showing up. You got to show up to blow up. I was taught that. So I showed up every single day and did the work. And because of that, in my first year of real estate, I helped 31 families. I even had a 4-month span where I closed, not put under contract and closed, I closed 18 deals in 4 months. Okay. Some people don't do that in an entire year. So if you have an environment that is opposite of what I was just talking about, the low level, you got a high level environment where you got people killing it, you got people showing up every single day, doing the work, having a positive attitude, they're doing the thing, you are very blessed. Okay, I just want to say that. So what I would highly recommend is find that high level environment or find a mastermind group or someone, share what you need to be doing every single day and build some accountability around that, right? Find a buddy. Proximity is power and accountability is love. People holding you accountable, that means they care. Because if they didn't care, they wouldn't say anything, right? So if you love yourself, find other people to hold you accountable and you will be surrounded by love. You need to constantly make sure that people that are holding you accountable are performing at a higher level than you or better than you. Okay. I call that raising your temperature. Raising your temperature. And again, this can be in person if you are blessed enough to be a part of a team where you can find that. Beautiful. If you need to search across the nation through mastermind groups or Facebook or networking with people in your brokerage across the states, do it. Do it. But you got to make sure that the people holding you accountable, that they are performing at a level higher than you. Okay? Be a part of that. I know generally people, we are gifted with that natural fire. We are gifted with that. We are born with that. Like some of the most persistent times of your life was when you were a baby. How many times did you fall on your butt when you were first learning to walk and you did not give up? Obviously, you didn't give up because now you're walking, right? If you are blessed enough to have your limbs working, then you fell on your butt several times and you kept getting up and trying it again. We are gifted naturally with that fire, with that fire to succeed. However, through our upbringing, many of us have had that fire subdued. Upbringing, conditioning, right? Your environment. Some of us have had that fire subdued. Now, this is where I'm telling you, you gotta bring that back. We need that to be relit. Okay. And you could do that through setting up your support, getting clear on what you want, getting clear on what you need to do, which is what we're talking about, and really set up that accountability in your life, that structure. Okay. I like to say, like I know competition. Some people try to avoid it. Yeah, competition makes us faster, right? Competition can make us competition can make us get fired up a little bit, right? Most of us, right? Collaboration overall makes us better. But I want you to have both. Okay. I heard this from one of my mentors, John Cheplack. He said, co-opetition. Co-opetition. That is where you can collaborate, you can cooperate with others, and it's also a competitive environment, a positive competitive environment. That is what you need in your life. Okay. So I'm going to pivot. Let's talk about a little more on mindset, but I'm going to talk principles and standards. Get very clear on your standards. Okay. Your standards, because This is going to really help you push through when times get tough. As you're going through this 90-day world, this 90-day process, you're going to have up days and down days. You're not going to feel like it some days. Some days you're going to feel like it. Some days you're going to be inspired. Other days you're not. Okay. Motivation is fleeting, but you're going to have to find ways to push through. Now, when you have standards, standards is that level that you will not go below. Does that make sense? So if you have a standard that you're going to talk to a minimum 7 people per day, I'm going to have 7 conversations per day. Well, that's your standard. You don't go below it, right? You may have days where you hit 10, where you hit 15, maybe even you hit 20, but you will not go a day without going below your standard. Now, if you're consistently going below that 7 and you're hitting 4, you're hitting 5, well, maybe your standard is 4. Maybe you are comfortable or content with having lower standards. This is where you need to challenge yourself. What is your standard? Okay. That is what you will not go below. All right. People do not rise to the level of their goals, they fall to the level of their standards. So you got to get clear on that. Okay. Get clear on your standards. Now, I don't believe in like chanting affirmations and, oh, yeah, like I'm the best and I can do like I just not, I just don't do that. I used to, but it's not something that I'm going to like tell people around me, hey, you should chant affirmations in the mirror. And no. However, I do believe that as you're going through this process, I think it is important to have gratitude. I think it is important to make sure you understand and reflect on your progress. Okay. The struggle in your life and in your business ends when the gratitude begins. Gratitude is such a powerful, powerful mindset to have. I believe gratitude and being grateful is a mindset. It's not like, it's who you are, it's how you think, right? Positivity, having a growth mindset, that is so important as you're building a business. Okay. Another thing too, as you're going through this journey, be clear on your standards, have gratitude, be around the right people. Also, take time for yourself to fill your cup. That could be family, workout, watching a movie, going on a walk. But you should 1 to 3 times per week have what I call active renewal, your healthy escape. 1 to 3 times a week. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it could be an hour long. But 1 to 3 times per week, it allows you to refill your cup. Okay. So this is not something that you listen to, this podcast. If you're going through times where you are struggling, this is the remedy to a scarcity mindset. I want you to review this. I want you to rewatch or re-listen to this podcast over and over and over again. When you start feeling defeated, when you start feeling like, oh my goodness, like I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know what to do, or you start having a victim mentality. This is the podcast you need to listen to. This episode right here. All right. So when we talk about the 90-day world, when we take a step back, when we look at it, it's like, okay, I got 90 days ahead of me. Give yourself grace as you're going through. Understand it is going to be a challenge. Embrace it. This is where the growth happens. Be patient with the results and impatient with your actions. Okay. And understand in a 90-day world, actual real results can take at least 75 days to materialize. Through your conversations and you setting appointments and you're meeting with people, you're signing people, you're getting deals on a contract, really building your pipeline of hot sellers and buyers, it can take 75 days for that to actually materialize. Understand that, embrace it. Again, this is a spiritual journey. You're going to be tested. But if you can understand the expectations as to what to expect, If you can get that dialed in, it's going to make it much easier. Don't expect anything for the first 75 days. And if you get some good results, that's when you keep pushing even harder. Okay. And again, have your support system. You got to have an accountability partner. Sometimes in this journey, you don't need a lecture, you don't need anything other than just some simple reassurance. Okay. That would help build confidence in you. That will help build confidence with you. So sometimes just a little reassurance is all you need to keep pushing through. So as you're going through this process, I mean, that is the 90-day world in ways that would help you come out of the 90 days on fire, full speed, full momentum, and being able to have a killer year. And I don't care what's happening in the market. You, over the next 90 days, you show up every single day. You prospect, you lead follow up, you make sure you set those appointments and meet with those people, negotiate. 90 days, 6 days a week. You get clear on your standards, you get the right people around you. You're going to come out of this with the market contracting. Your business is going to expand. I promise you that. I've seen it happen too many times, okay? And the media will purport the negativity. That's where you, as a professional, you need to have these conversations with your clients and educate them on the truth, right? There's going to be times where you're getting asked questions you're not going to know how to handle. I want you to write that down. Oh, I got stuck on that question about the NAR settlement, or I got stuck on the buyer agency agreement. I wasn't able to get that converted. The buyer was uncertain about something. I wasn't able to handle that. Write it down and then go seek help or coaching from someone who you know can handle that. Receive the coaching and then implement. Okay. As you're going through this, track your numbers. Hope you're using a CRM, a client relationship management system or tool, and you're tracking your dials, you're tracking your conversations, right? You're keeping up with the people that are, you need to be keeping up with in a CRM. It's all organized and nice and clean. Review your data. What you don't track, you're not able to improve, right? So make sure you're doing that as well. And then get very clear on your schedule, because none of this stuff is going to happen if it's not in your schedule. That was one of the first things I believe I said on this podcast is, if it's not in your schedule, if the activities that you need to do are not in your schedule, they're not going to get done. You're not going to be consistent, because consistent action creates consistent results. Consistent action in the right activities creates consistent desired results. So put it in your schedule, put it in your calendar, and every single day, plan out your day. Get clear on the 5 core or the 4 core activities. I'm going to say 5 because maybe that 5th one could be something like you're sending out an email to your database. That is a form of lead follow-up, right? But 4 to 5 core activities, the 4 core activities I've already broken down for you. If you want to add a 5th one in there, do it. Okay. And then make sure you execute every single day. Be clear on your day. Okay. Win your day, each day. All right. So we're in a 90-day world. We are currently in a situation where the market has shifted. The overall deal count is going down. The market is contracting. Agents are frustrated. They're scared. They're uncertain. Homes are sitting on the market longer. It's hard to get listings. Rates are still at that normal level, and buyers are looking at that and they're like, you know what, I'm going to wait. It's election year. So people, again, are hitting pause on making a move. There are more agents entering the business, right? Although we've had over 60,000 agents leave in 2023 and are projecting even more to leave in 2024, we still had a lot of people that are, I'm sure, in your market. You see new faces, new names get into the business. And every single person who gets into the business and every single person who's doing deals, they're taking away from the next agent. Even if we have 20 new agents that get into our market this year and they each do one deal, that's 20 deals that they've taken from other agents, right? That's happening. We have, agents, real estate agents who are not prepared, who don't know what to do, who don't know how to pivot, who don't have the accountability, the leadership, the coaching, training, support, the systems around them. It's chaotic. It's chaotic. We got homes sitting on the market longer, and agents don't know how to price homes correctly and educate the sellers on how to really set up a strategy that gives them the best chance of building demand for the property. That conversation is a skill set. Agents don't know how to do that right now. We don't know where the bottom of the market is yet. We don't know anything. We have very highly confident sellers, very low confident agents, and it's messy, right? But I do this podcast because I believe that there is a way, if we change our behaviors, we can change our business. Okay. We change our behaviors, we can change our business. If we can commit to doing the thing, doing the activities, if we can commit to that and do it every single day, you can completely flip your business upside down in a good way, in a positive way. Okay. If you are somebody that is listening to this podcast and you're like, well, shoot, I'm doing well, my business is growing, this message applies to you as well, because the business that you've been doing up to this point was based on a different market. It's based on a different market. And I guarantee you that if you look over the past 30 days, 30 to 60 days, I guarantee, and if you track your numbers, don't send me don't put anything in a comment or send me a message on Facebook or anything like that saying, well, you know what, that's not happening to me. That's not, well, listen, let me see your numbers. Over the past 60 days, have you had to talk to more people to sustain your business or grow your business compared to the previous, I don't know, 4 to 6 months? Have you had to meet with more people to get a deal done? Have you had to talk to more people to get a deal done? Have you had more deals fall out, more deals in escrow fall out over the past 30 to 60 days compared to the beginning of the year? Show me those numbers, right? If you are someone who you're like, well, I'm doing well, I feel good right now, I will tell you this still applies, because the times where you're feeling good is when you're most vulnerable to getting hit in the mouth, because you become complacent. Your ego starts to get a little too big, and then you decide you don't need to do the work that got me to this point anymore. I've leveled up from that, which is bullshit. Straight up. So you're one of them. If you feel like you are doing well, you're killing it, you are most vulnerable. This is especially for you. I've seen it happen. Oh, I made 20 grand in a month. Oh, I closed out 5, 6, 7, 8 deals. Oh, I got 12 pending. Like, okay, cool. 90 days go by, completely different business, completely different. Oh man, I got one pending now. Oh man, I'm not blah, 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 blah. Oh, my one just fell apart. Oh my goodness. That's the difference between urgency and panic. I'm trying to create urgency in you to take the right actions to continue to grow. If you are doing well right now and you do this, you listen to this podcast and you apply, the only thing that's going to happen is you invest more in your business and your business grows even more. Okay. Do the mundane activities, do the hard stuff, make it happen. All right, y'all. Man, listen, I broke this down. I know this is valuable information. Again, I'm going to always bring, especially through a podcast, where I can really, just kind of say what's on my mind. It really does help me, because these are conversations I have with my team, the people that are in my life. And I want to always be able to bring that content to the public. And this is a great way for me to do it. Literally, we just talked about the 90-day world. We just talked about, doubling down on your business today at the time of me shooting this, recording this podcast, and it's relevant, right? So I just really appreciate this platform and being able to speak what's on my mind and get it out there. So obviously, this is going to be on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Whether you like watching, we got the video. You can watch the podcast, or if you prefer to listen, it's on Spotify, iTunes, all those platforms. I'm going to continue to push these out. I just want to say appreciate you guys, and I'm excited to continue to push out very relevant, valuable information. If you have any questions, if you have any topics that you want me to discuss that are relevant, reach out. Okay, I'm on Facebook. You can reach out to me on IG. You can reach out to me via YouTube. Leave a comment in the comment section on the video. If this was valuable, if this really did help you gain clarity in your business, give us a thumbs up if it's YouTube. Otherwise, give us a 5-star review, or give us a 1-star if it wasn't good. And any feedback is good feedback. That's the way I see it. Okay. But anyways, 90-day world is that if that's what you're in, keep pushing, do the work. And until next time, y'all go out there, be focused, do the thing. Again, High Value Agent, this podcast is about inspiring people to create a better life through real estate. So any way that I can support you, I'm going to do it. So y'all kill it. See you next time.